Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another Card Authority minicast, episode 19, I think, James.
I believe it's already up to 19.
I know, it's crazy stuff.
Incredible.
G'day, Gribbler. How are you? Luke,
Gribsy.
Steven, how are you guys? Sunday night, obviously, 8:30 kickoff tonight. Beach, how are you, buddy?
G'day, Blake.
Blakey, how are you? Welcome to another Card Authority. Obviously, we thought it was good to catch up and have a chat all things prestige. Yesterday was release day. G'day, Tom. G'day, Kano. It's been a big couple of days in the hobby, as it always is in release days. My sparring partner, co-offender.
Big couple of days in the hobby. Big couple of days for the mighty Saints.
Oh, wow.
It was very nice to be able to go to a game and watch my team finally steamroll someone. Not that the Hawks have been doing so well, but it's still a nice feeling. It's a very nice feeling. But what a huge couple of days. We probably didn't think we'd be doing a mini cast as quickly as the last one, which was just before release. But obviously, the release just really went bang. So It was very much due, I thought. So, yeah.
G'day, Mario, Mason, Jason, Jacob, Bodie, Dale, Niall, Pete, Mitch. G'day, guys. How are everyone? Thank you, everyone, coming on board. Mario. Don't know if it'll be a mini cast. We'll see. We've got a few things to talk about. Really exciting times, obviously. Release days. It brings the best and the worst out of people.
Yeah, and obviously, a lot of the people watching, most of our members of our community and those who listen and tune into the program are very connected within the Facebook community, and therefore the AFL subculture and trading card subculture for AFL, and probably have a pretty keen eye on what's been going on the last couple of days, and it's certainly been an interesting couple of days, and definitely an opportunity. We've been sitting back in the background watching a lot of things taking place, and probably fair to say it's a good opportunity for us to sort of address a few things and be able to chat to everyone as well about the things that they want to talk about too, as we always do. But before we get into proceedings tonight, I understand that you actually have something to say to everyone within the community as well.
Yeah.
Just as a bit of a precursor to tonight's conversation as well, because we know emotions really are running high, and people have a lot of things to talk about. So.
Yeah, and look, I guess obviously, we always try to be very transparent here and call it as we see it. But so look, I was thinking about two things. I did make a couple of notes, but I just thought I'd read this out to you guys, something I've been thinking about today. So look, there's been a lot spoken about over the last few days, not only about us, but also our businesses. And personally, I guess at the end of the day, I'm a big boy. I can handle, any positive or negative feedback. But what does frustrate me is people making assumptions about our business with sort of minimal information or awareness.
Yeah.
And other businesses for that matter as well.
Yeah.
At RGV and obviously our associated brands, we've got a real mantra of trying to improve this community and this hobby. We do so many good things here that aren't spoken about, and we're certainly not looking for a pat on the back. But it's really disappointing when people are making attacks on us and also other businesses when they've got their own selfish motives. To be honest, it's actually laughable. I'm not really looking to debate, nor do I feel the need to have to justify how we do things. But keep in mind, there's a ton of really good people in this community that put in not only an incredible amount of time, but also money. The landscape's changed a lot, as we've spoken about. And some for the better, and some would argue worse, and that's fine. Everyone has opinions.
Yeah.
But whether it's select retail outlets, breakers, in my opinion, there's a lot of people that are trying to do good things. Do we make money? Of course we do. We're a business.
Yeah.
But there's also a huge cost of doing business, both on a financial level and also personal sacrifice.
Yeah.
People making personal attacks to different outlets, not only just us, but others, really, it's pretty disappointing. There are so many good people in our community and so many people that put so much time into it. These people really need to take a hard look at themselves. No one's stopping anyone else from putting in the hard yards. There is no playbook on how to be successful in business, but I'll tell you a couple of things that you can do is work hard and treat people with respect.
Yeah.
So look, new releases are stressful, but let's remember these new products and opening cards should be fun. It's a celebration. It's a good time. And this is why we're all in our community. So I hope everyone understands that and takes that in the right feel for it. But I just want you guys to all know that we're businessmen, but we're card lovers. We love this community and we love trying to make things better.
And that's the thing. I suppose it's all born out of a love of collecting. And again, we have very thick skin, and we expect it. It comes with the territory of putting ourselves out there within the card community in this public space, and even doing things like a podcast and being involved in the Facebook pages and the community. We put ourselves out there, and we expect criticism. We expect all these things, but there's certainly been some really personal attacks, which and that's what concerns me. I don't care if it's coming at me, that's fine. But what I don't like is when people are giving their own opinions, and very valid opinions, are being attacked and abused by others. And I've seen all sorts of things thrown around. As you said, it's disappointing. We should be talking about the positives and focusing on the positive things of the hobbies in such a huge, amazing space at the moment, that we can continue to be brought these releases that create such a hysteria. And we all know, and we talk about a lot, the emotions run high. New releases bring out the best and the worst in people. And that's the nature of it.
And let me just say, me saying this tonight, I'm not looking for and I appreciate everyone's comments and the thing. I won't put them all up, but as you know, we all try to be pretty positive here across all our networks, and I appreciate everyone's support, and the love is back both ways, and Adam feels the same. But not only just us, there's other people, EJs, Cherry, pretty much the majority of the people that were named on the select list have really copped it for trying to help the community. And I know there's some things that people are not happy about, and that's fine, and I'm happy to talk about any of those things, as we always are. But just remember, these are real people that have feelings, they have money and time invested, and they also love the community too. So please, everyone, please, let's all just take this as a learning lesson. If you want to abuse me and Janks, whatever, you know what I mean? We are used to it. But let's all just be kind to each other. It's stressful. We all want cards. We all want to rip cards. But just let's all see if we can just walk away from this just a little bit kinder to everybody.
Leave the cardboard politics behind the scenes. Let's let everyone enjoy the surface area.
Not everyone is going to be happy.
And in saying that, I suppose it very much is a precursor to what we were anticipating a lot of this episode is going to talk about. We're going to talk about the release, the time in which it took to sell out, what's going on with the secondary market, and everything in between. And we're expecting that you guys may have some pretty significant questions you want to ask, things that may have been talked about in public commentary that we haven't made comment on yet. That you may want to hear about what we've got to say about it. We've tried as hard as possible not to feed the trolls, and the trolls, someone just said in the comments, and the trolls are out in full force at the moment, and it's significant, but we try not to feed it because we don't want that negativity circulating within the hobby and circulating within the community. That's right. It's there's a minority of people involved in it, and even if we can provide an opportunity to dispel what they maybe are thinking, or the messages that they may be propagating, they may not realize how incorrect it really is. Yeah,
that's right. And look, we don't want to go too much on the negative stuff. If people have got questions or, all that kind of stuff, more than happy to get through it. But look, let's sort of get back on track. And obviously there's a million comments coming through. So thank you guys. We are seeing them. Anyway, look, people are going to be people, but let's, all we can do is look after ourselves and the communities that we're in. So anyway, so how did you think release day went yesterday?
Awesome. So maybe, let's start with an overview of the release, and then let's get into the people's questions afterwards. So
11 o'clock.
As expected, I thought it was actually going to go a bit quicker than what it did.
How long was it?
I think people said it took up to a couple of minutes. So I'm not sure if that was allocation exhausting and then quick little re-uploads or inventory uploads or how that worked exactly. But I certainly thought 20 to 30 seconds and it was going to be well and truly gone. I had no issues getting my order through whatsoever in that first one in the morning. So you guys, behind the doors here, there's honestly about 40,000 mobile phones.
Click phone.
And I've got this extreme octopus that we bred out of some nuclear materials that has tentacles on all the phones. And that's how we bought 75,000 boxes yesterday.
Well, let's just
No, no. I thought at the end of the day, if you knew what you were doing, you had a browser or a phone open, you knew to refresh at the right time, you knew how to go into your cart, you were logged into your account.
Yep.
You got it. And from what we could see from the feedback, most people got what they wanted.
Well,
A few didn't. And presented a second
I'll
opportunity.
give you my personal experience. So I was lucky enough to get 4 boxes in the first one.
Yeah.
I put my credit card details in, put my name in, push submit. I'm like, yes, through. And it popped back and said that my name on my credit card wasn't right. And I'm like, shit. Quickly had to retype everything because it clears everything. And then literally, I still got through.
Yeah.
And that was at like, just ticked over 11:01.
Okay.
So it did look like, certainly from the sentiment, there were a few people that missed out on the morning drop.
Yeah.
Which, again, standard sort of release day, frustrations.
Yeah.
Let's move forward to the second release, which was 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Would it be fair to say that there was ample opportunity for everyone to get?
Absolutely. So second release was really interesting. A lot of people are talking about that it was going for 7 minutes, 12 minutes, every type of minute in between those figures.
Yeah, it felt like at least 10 minutes.
Yes, but what I noticed, it was really interesting because I was monitoring it.
Yep.
So I was constantly refreshing to see what was going on when it was going to sold out. And what I kept noticing, and one thing that I do, and I would always encourage other people to do this, is the way the inventory management systems work with Shopify and other online stores, they're constantly updating inventory in real time.
Right.
So it could go to sold out and then half a second later back to available units. So you should just keep trying for at least a period of time.
So is that Select putting more in, or do you think
could
that's
be
them cancelling
both.
those?
I think it's probably a combination. I think it's putting more in and cancelling to combat those things, like people who may be using bots or people who are very well structured and set up to be able to go after volume, that they're doing it to make sure that people get an opportunity. So if you've got all these things going on at bang on 11 o'clock or 9 o'clock, whatever it was last night, that if they allow a thing to sell out within the first 20 seconds, then upload more inventory to it and lets the next guy who's only just click refresh come along and be able to buy it. So I think it's that. And then I would say a lot of cancellation stuff as well. Like, you and I have talked in depth. You've spoken to Select about it in the past.
Blake just made a good comment. And obviously Blake's running Shopify the same as Select are and the same as we are.
Yeah.
That I do know that it can sometimes oversell. If you get a huge amount of putting a huge amount of orders all at once, it can sometimes oversell. So perhaps if there was, I'm just making a number, 100 boxes, they might have put in 80, 10, 5.
Yeah, that's right.
To make sure that it doesn't actually oversell.
And that's the thing, like I think as well, like their defined like strategy to mitigate what they see as like hoarding resellers, so people who are taking large stock volume off the market with no intent to get it open at some point. They don't care, they're just looking for the highest resale. So I think they're doing a lot to track orders in real time, cancel, reload stock back into the system as well.
Which has been a trend through previous releases.
That's right. Probably the last 12 months.
Brilliance.
I remember for the last about 12 months.
I think Brilliance was
Brilliance was probably where we really saw that come to play. And maybe that aligns with the other things that seem to be going on with Select, their shift in marketing strategy, their movement into online content, spokespeople, all those sorts of things. So I think it's a reflection of the maturing market on a global level starting to impact the publishers and the manufacturers domestically, whereby the companies are stepping up and moving from, those domestic operations, those real, Aussie sort of operations into more world class. They're certainly not the scale of Panini and they don't employ those sorts of numbers, but I think they're trying to employ that methodology to achieve best practice, transparency, best practice, all those sorts of things. So
that's right. And look, again, is everything done perfect? Who knows? But it certainly feels like it's moving in the right direction. And I guess the way that I can quantify that from just looking at what was going on is that a lot of the people that were upset at 11:03 in the morning, a lot of them all got their boxes. and I didn't really see anyone that looked like they legitimately missed out on getting a box.
And here's the thing, I think also, there was a few people that publicly said they missed out, and they were furious and they were lashing out.
Yep.
And it really, like, if you did not get boxes yesterday and you wanted them, well, either you had some serious technical issues or you didn't plan your time well to be available and online to get them. Like the argument of, well, I've got things to do and people are busy. Cool, that's no problem. But people have known for a week what time this was going on. And the expectation can't be, well, no, it doesn't matter if you schedule a time. That's unacceptable to me. I should be able to log on at any time of the day and be able to buy boxes of cards. Well, sorry, that's just not how the world works.
And Jace made a big comment there. If you missed out, you were not trying.
Which
is probably right.
You weren't trying hard enough, or you weren't around to do it. Like,
do you feel that perhaps there was a slight reduction of pressure because of the Collector Club?
Absolutely.
That a lot of the people, the one box buyers that were perhaps missing out, perhaps might be of a different generation that are not as quick and computer savvy. They got their box and they were happy.
I think so.
I
think so. I think that, as we've discussed before, the online community to which a lot of our members are a part of is only a small representation, a small sample of the broader hobby and and the participants within the hobby. So absolutely, like that's the case. There'd be many members. The Select Collectors Club technically has more members than the Facebook community groups do. So surely, like, there's a lot of people that would be exactly that.
There's 20,000
They're not going online to do it. They're going to get their box and they're happy with their box. And if they happen to go on and get some more, it's a bit of an afterthought. I think there's a lot of different scenarios in that sense.
So do you, and I didn't talk to you about this before, but do you think there are many people now that begrudgingly bought the Collector Club membership that are unhappy?
No, I think it's fair to say, one, you wouldn't be unhappy now because of this, but also, with that almost confirmation of supremacy after those leaks last week, plus everything.
Not that we know.
But like, I don't know. Again, I admitted it on a previous episode of Card Authority. I was on the fence and went at the 11th hour and bought into it. And when I started to really rationalize and think about it, I almost got sucked into some of the rhetoric around the negativity around it. I got sucked in myself. And then I really thought about it rationally. I was like, it's a no-brainer, $99. Like, to give me anything. I just one box of any series at the moment. They're so hard to get. The guaranteed buy, I'll do it. Like, I think that is a huge win for everyone. And in retrospect, in hindsight, people will look back and go, so happy I was around in 2021 when Select released that Selector Club, the Collector Club.
I can almost guarantee that if they do this next year, and I'm guessing, I'm imagining if you have a membership, you will get to renew it again. I reckon those other 250 or whatever that didn't get snapped up, they will sell out quicker than yesterday.
Agree.
So, I think overall a really good day. So, and we clip Select, but kudos. I think their double tranche combined with the Collector group, I think it's really good.
Niall Wilson.
Yeah, that's right, Niall. Yeah, it's the same with concert tickets to big shows pre-pandemic. If you're not prepared, you're just not going to.
You absolutely hit it on the head there, and it's like anything else, and that's the reality. Apply it to sneakers, video game consoles, concert tickets,
PS5,
whatever it is. And as I'm sure everyone notices, half of you guys probably sit on the NBA pages as well, like me. Every time EB has a pre-sale, there's a 500 comment thread afterwards about all the people that missed out. And then there's all the people commenting going, well, I'll sell you mine for double the price. So
let's just ask you a question. Sorry, it's not letting me put comments on. Let me just try again. Oh, there we go. Do people overestimate what Select actually have to give back to the collector, being a business? And that is, again, Glennie, that's way too shrewd a comment for a Sunday night. But absolutely, I think people forget, and I touched on this a little bit in what I said before. If we don't have businesses in this industry...
Well, there is no industry.
There is no industry. It becomes nothingness, bits of paper that have no value. There's no signature because they're not putting money into it. There's none of that stuff.
I support the notion that collectors are the backbone of the hobby.
Correct.
However, the publishers or the companies select
Yeah.
the publisher, they are also the backbone of the hobby, because if they're not making anything, then there is no collector.
Yep.
So fundamentally, business and the success of businesses amongst all areas of the hobby, which is ultimately an industry and could be defined as an industry, fundamentally, if they are not successful and they're not sustainable, well, there's nothing for anyone at the end of the day. There's nothing for anyone to fight over or quabble over or accuse anyone over or do anything. The communities don't exist. The social interaction doesn't exist. No one has a collection. No one has a perceived asset. No one has anything. That's the reality of it. And that's what people really need to get their head around.
Yeah.
And that's what's really frustrated me a lot the last couple of days, is the notion of people chopping each other down for doing something, whether business, personal, side gig, whatever it is. Every person is making a contribution to a hobby. You don't have to participate in anything.
Yeah.
You have freedom of choice to do what you
and
want.
again, look, this is not about us. This is in general. Like, obviously, I'm sort of trying to support all the businesses here. And Jason, I'll put your comment up, and I certainly, I won't speak out of school here, but businesses kept the industry afloat when no one wanted the stock, and now businesses are the bad guys. I wouldn't say businesses are the bad guys. I would say that the marketplace and the industry has changed. Now, obviously, Jason, I don't want to talk too much about your business. That's what you guys do. Or more to the point, it's not my place to say that. But perhaps in people like you that certainly help support the community for a long time, you may not be getting the same amount of stock that you used to a few years ago.
Yeah.
But you're still getting stock. There needs to be more stock that is spread around, direct to the consumer, retail outlets, whoever it might be. So as you guys have done very well, Jace, you and Gat, you guys have adapted and changed and really looking forward to how to move your business into the next generation of cars.
And continue to.
And continue to.
And
That's
continue
right.
to. And I think
that's a credit to you guys.
And that's a key. And I think, Jason and Anthony have both been probably on Card Authority since the first episode and have always commented on different things. And we have a good understanding of their business model and what they're
It's not for us to talk about.
But it long outdates, obviously, what we've done as well in the hobby.
And there's lots of people like
absolutely. Yeah. That's right. They represent a cohort of people as well, of which they understand the notion of adaptation.
Yep.
Because if you don't adapt to the change that's taking place around you, what's around you isn't just going to stop. It's going to keep evolving and keep changing. You as the individual is what gets left behind ultimately.
Yep.
As much as people want to fight that concept, that's evolution. That is the crux of it, of evolution.
And a little analogy that I just thought of then, everyone used to like when they're, certainly people my age, and obviously Jake's your similar age, video stores, okay? People used to have a VHS player, you go down to your video store, get your video, whatever, and there was a huge marketplace for video stores.
Yeah.
And then streaming, internet got better, and now video stores are extinct. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with movies or takes away the pleasure of watching movies. Just the way you execute that and bring that into your house or your business or whatever it might be has changed.
Yeah.
And Crispy, look, I'll touch on yours. Let me just. This is not really clicking very well for me tonight. Select needed supply to a wider list. Felt very VFL to me. Well, Crispy, the thing is though, and we'll explain a little bit of this now, and this has been spoken about not only the Select and also from our knowledge. JLH, which is
JHL,
Card Zone and Wang.
Yeah.
All right.
Steve Wang, who most people would know, an absolute stalwart of the hobby, has been around, supported the scene more than anyone has for decades.
Yeah.
Has a distribution company that represents Select.
Which his sole purpose is supplying to bricks and mortar stores.
Yeah.
All right. As the business has evolved, there is other businesses, and I guess maybe we fall in that bracket, that don't have an account with Card Zone. So we're not getting anything from them, which they now...
And they don't accept new accounts.
They don't accept new accounts.
That's right.
But all the other companies and all the other bricks and mortar stores that have been ordering off Steve Wang for the last 10 years will have got something off him, pending they haven't done something silly to jeopardize
that is the deal that they have with their distributor.
Yeah.
And the expectation is, and I think people are starting to not just realize, but coming to expect it, that as Select starts to take more product direct to the collector or direct to the consumer through their website, that has to tap into another allocation. And that is obviously the allocation that gets distributed out to hobby. And as a result of that, it causes a dilution to what everyone would get. But the misinformation campaign that is going on at the moment, to be honest with you, it's nothing short of disgraceful what's going on at the moment out there. People making accusations that only the people that were on Select's release yesterday or whenever it was, that's the only people getting it, and they just so happen to be people that didn't have accounts before. Well, no, it's an addition to existing account holders. It's effectively Select saying that we now, these people are now also preferred stockists. All the people that get supplied by Steve Wang are technically preferred stockists because they're getting their stock, like they've got part of a distribution deal, and this is where the issue is. So you have people who seem to be either misrepresenting on purpose or misinterpreting what's actually going on out there, because they're saying, well, hold on, some new businesses have qualified to be able to get the preferred deal or whatever it is, but we still don't get ours, or they still don't get theirs. But that's got nothing to do with us and nothing to do with anyone else. That's got to be something between them and the manufacturer or them and the distributor as to why that's taking place. But why should others? Why should Cherry come under attack? Why should Shield Stamps and Collectibles come under attack? Michael Shields and Tony Shields have had that shop before Steve Wang even existed, before Select even existed. It's an indictment on people to be attacking Tony Shields about having some sort of distribution for Select out of his store. Like, people really need to have a think about that, and before they just go yelling off all over Facebook and accusing people of things.
And look, Matty Allen, I'm not putting your comment up, but that's not true. Okay, that is absolutely not true. So, look, anyway, I want to keep this positive, but I just want people to be aware that there is a lot of misinformation, and just because other stores feel that they should be an authorized Select person or distributor, well, it doesn't mean that they may not be in the future, or things could change. But at the moment, there are two pathways to get stock: through the official distributor, which is Steve Wang, and through Select. And again, as Glenn touched on 5 minutes ago, Select as a business have the right to choose who they provide stock to for whatever criteria they want to set. And again, we have nothing to do with it. Jenks does not own Select. He doesn't choose to do it. But again, it's not even about us. Don't attack these other companies that are there doing the right thing. Cherry last night, Dale put boxes up at whatever time it was. You know what I mean? EJ's have put boxes up. We'll put boxes up next week. We're a week.
We'll put boxes up. I'm pretty sure we're the only ones that have done a case share, let alone a retail case share, that we did like 4 days ago or whenever it was.
Anyway,
and we're going to do more. But that's part of the issue here as well. Is we're a week out from release. Broaden the horizons here. We're a week out from release.
And that's probably what frustrated me a little bit. And with my statement at the start is, we have things planned this week. Customers that have been coming into the store know they can come and buy a box office. We've got to have a supply for people to buy. There is going to be some online at some point this week, but release day is next week.
So relax. Keep chopping down the tree before we've even made an announcement about what we're doing. You know.
And Crispy, I understand that, I know you've got some associations, and I certainly, I love what you guys do. Crispy, I'm a huge fan of you. But, I mean, again, reach out and have conversations with Steve Wang. Reach out and have conversations with Select. If you're not getting supply from one of the two and you feel like you should be, well, it's not just a God-given right that you get stock.
That's right.
Show to them, A, that you want to do it and you've got a business, all that kind of stuff, and then let them make your decision. There's no point just being upset and having a crack and saying, "Oh, we can't get brackets." I mean, there is plenty of ways to get stock if you want. Cherry last night, put up 5 or 6 cases or whatever it was. I kid you not, there were boxes available for 15 minutes. And if Dale or Blake is still on the thread, I'm sure they'll be able to answer that. EJ's were a couple of minutes. I'm sure it'll be the same for us as well. just stop attacking people and businesses for trying to do the right thing. The release hasn't even happened yet. Anyway, whatever.
But I think part of the other thing is there may be also pre-existing retailers who do have access to stock and are getting stock, but maybe are not publicly advertising that they've actually got that stock.
Or they want more.
Yeah, or they want more. So,
there you go.
You can't win. Like,
Dale's just answered that. 6 cases worth, lasted half an hour or so.
Yeah.
So again, that's just another example that if people really will want more boxes, there's plenty of time to go and get those boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Gatt, that's right. So look, obviously people that don't know, Anthony Gatt and Jason Cremona are flatmates, business partners. But you're right, you've got an account with Wang and it's a privilege, it's not a right. And it's a privilege that we're with Select. As I saw Michael Shields, he said the same thing too.
I was just saying Dale's comments, actually.
We're keeping this positive. Cherry are not dogs, you guys are great. But it's a privilege. We're all privileged to be involved in this industry. But just, do everything you can to, earn that privilege.
Yeah.
Or not earn it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
And that's the thing.
No one's any better than anyone else.
And when you're feeling resentful or animosity towards any sort of operator within
Fabian, they distribute to every state. Wangy has customers in every single state.
They distribute to every single state.
So again, this is just...
From memory, the list is like 80 or something people are supplied with national distribution by Steve Wang on behalf of Select with their product. Again, there's just so much
agents, hobby
there's so
stores.
much misinformation floating around. It's unbelievable. And this is the problem is the narrative is created for a reason as well. People are pushing very specific agendas. People just want to be able to see through it. Like, you just want to see through it.
And look, Robert, I don't know a list of the suppliers. Look, again, as someone said to me today, I've been in this hobby for 2 seconds, so I wouldn't know that.
you are the other guy. You're the other bloke. You are the other bloke.
But look, I'm sure that there is probably a list somewhere of who gets supplies in Queensland. Like, every state is covered. Anyway, so look, I thought it was fantastic that some of the stores are actually doing really well. And I'm not even going to answer that. That's
which one's that?
No, I'm not going to talk about that. That's just silly. So now that the release is finished, okay, obviously everyone was very no, Fabian, you're all good, mate. Don't stress. No, I'm certainly talking very generally.
Sorry, Fabian, we weren't saying about you saying it either. We're saying like this is the problem.
And I've heard that comment about 50 times in the last 24 hours. So don't stress, mate.
And we're saying it's the same because we're seeing all the posts on Facebook that are saying those sorts of things, and we know that those things aren't true. And what we're trying to do is use this as an opportunity to dispel some of those myths and some of that misinformation for the benefit of the community itself, because what we don't want is people eating each other alive out there.
Yeah.
It's not nice to see. We don't want to see every thread become a battleground between what people think is right and wrong, and it's totally subjective anyway.
Yeah, and look, actually, I'm going to answer this, all right? So I think the issue is lack of transparency. Were all the stores given the opportunity to be a distributor? Talking to WA stores, the answer was no. Again, as Gatt just mentioned, it's not an issue of you choosing to be a store. We were asked, we were incredibly honoured and privileged that they saw value in what we do, and of course we accepted, just as the other guys do. It's not an issue of us going and asking them.
Yeah.
It's not a right. It's a privilege which we're incredibly proud of being asked for.
Okay, so we recently applied for a Panini account.
Yep. Don't tell people that.
We recently applied for a Panini international account because we qualify.
Yep.
We qualify all the categories that are required with Panini to get an international wholesale account with them.
Yep.
Do we think we're going to get a wholesale account with them? Well, based on what we've heard from other people, no. Am I about to go on every single NBA Facebook page and bash Panini that they're a disgrace, that this store in Australia has submitted an application and we haven't even got a response yet, and that is disgraceful? No, I am not, because people would look at me like I'm an absolute idiot.
Yeah.
And that who am I to tell them that I deserve the supply? They are the ones that have the discretion. They make the decision.
Yep.
It's their business. It's their choice. Whether we, as in one of our businesses, went and applied and were successful, and someone else wasn't successful, that's not up to us. That's up to them.
Yeah,
that is up to them.
And again, look, I'm not, again, I appreciate everyone's comments, and this is great discussion everyone's having in the chat. Again, look, please don't think this is not about us. I'm talking very genuinely about all the people that are working in the hobby, and I want everyone to be protected. The retailers, the producers, and you guys. I want. We just don't need to, beat each other's throats over this,
Ruckers makes a good comment, and Ruckers, this is an example of what I'm trying to say.
I'll just read that out because obviously it'll be on podcast. I've been buying cases off Wangi for almost 20 years. So just because I can get one now, why should I be made to feel bad?
And that's exactly what I'm saying about people eating each other alive.
Yeah.
It's wrong.
And there'll be hundreds of people just like that.
And that's the thing. But the whole thing is there's also other people that have had accounts with Wangi for 20 years who have a totally different perspective on things as well.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, there's conflicts going on here. And it's just like, this is how things are. People need to accept, you have to deal with realities, not with how it was or how you think it should be. Maybe how you think it should be could be how it is in the future, but you have to deal with the now, with the present of what's going on.
Well, again, Paul, I'll continue with Paul's comment because I want everyone to have a talk. I agree with what you're saying. However, shouldn't all stores be offered the same opportunity? And yes, it's up to Select, but the frustration is real, especially when there are only 10 cases available in WA. Well, again, I don't know how many cases are in WA. At a complete stab in the dark, I would say there is definitely more than 10.
You would think there's definitely more than 10.
And it's not an issue of them all being offered the same opportunity. As in any business or any relationship, you've got to choose who you want to work with.
Yeah.
And if Select have someone they want to work with in Melbourne, New South Wales, Tasmania, wherever it is, that is their choice.
Absolutely. Take a whole step back here, and let's just say that a figure's been thrown out here that there's 10 cases in WA. And again, this is part of what's going on. All these figures and everything people are throwing
guesses,
it's guesses, estimates, hearsay, stabs in the dark. None of it's factual because no one actually knows. And this then lends to the notion again, and Paul, this is the thing. There's multiple shops in WA. Those multiple shops have always got cards from Select. I'm sure they continue to get cards from Select.
Yep.
If they're saying they've got X amount of cases, who knows what they've actually got? If they're saying they've got 5 cases, well, maybe they actually have 20 cases and they've got 5 for later in the year and 5 for next year and 10 for online. Whatever it is, who knows?
Richo there, I'm in WA and was offered a whole case.
Yeah, this is the whole thing. And this is where the figures get thrown around. Comments are made, and maybe sometimes the comments are made in jest, or they're made on the basis that they're not factual. But it's not like people are expected to put a disclaimer on a post saying, disclaimer, these figures are my own. These are my own assumptions. This is not based on factual information. People take it what they read at face value, and then it starts to impact. It starts to have real life impact.
Yeah. And the other thing too is, if you ring up a car store, and it doesn't matter whether you have a long-standing relationship with them, and say, hey, it's Joe Blogs, I want to buy a case, and they say, sorry, we don't have cases.
Yeah.
It might not be the case that they don't have cases, but they don't want to sell cases.
That's right, and that is their right, unless they're under some other obligations. Who knows? That again,
So I'm certainly not doubting what you're saying, Paul.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
But we've just seen within 2 comments, there's 2 conflicting reports out of numbers of cases in WA.
Yeah.
And that's within 10 seconds. So imagine how many other different figures are flying around,
Paul, look, I feel like you I don't know what you're trying to bait me here for, but I mean, these are all just hypotheticals. If there were 6 retailers in WA and none Victoria, how would you react?
Well, I mean, it's just not the case, though.
There are retailers in WA, and there is people with stock. Anyway, I'm moving on from this.
And here's the thing. Everyone also seems to forget as well that we're living in a society that continues to move further and further into online purchasing. So when someone says they can't get something somewhere, well, that's restricted to their local card store, not that they can't physically get it.
Gat made a really good point here, okay? Do you think Select should say where all stock is allocated to stop this shit fight? And I don't know whether or not they should say who has what, But being that Steve and Card Zone are the main distributor, and they work clearly closely together,
Yeah.
let's put out a list.
Yeah, get a list out there of the stockists around the country.
And that
Yeah,
doesn't, that
but
doesn't-
here's the thing: make no mistake, it won't stop the mud being flung, because any
No,
person that's
of
not
course.
on the 100 name list,
Yeah.
the person who thinks that they should be number 100 but are not on there,
Yeah.
they're still going to be furious about it. And rightful, that's up to them. I'm not begrudging them for that.
And
Like,
also, don't think that I'm not unsympathetic, Paul, that, obviously, clearly you want to get stock and, everyone wants as much stock. And, us as...
you've got a box coming from us, from the case share.
Oh,
funnily
yeah,
enough.
there you go. But the thing is, though, we have a brake business, which is separate to our shop.
Yep.
We were out there yesterday buying stock.
Yep.
And I can tell you right now, the stock that we're going to sell next week or
Yep.
this week is cheaper than what we were out there buying stock for last
Absolutely.
night. for our brakes.
There is people, I won't name them, there are people literally on this stream right now that we have done deals with to purchase stock
At a premium.
at a premium that we need for brakes.
Yep.
We need it. At the same time, we're selling boxes for $140 over the counter from RGV Collectibles.
Yep.
So again, figure that one out. We are selling boxes for $140, literally 15 meters from where I'm sitting right now. But next week, we're going to be breaking boxes that we've gone and paid more money than what we're selling them to people for. So don't get caught up in this whole millions of dollars of profits and
So
they're swimming in cash and all this. It's just...
So Fabian, we'd be in the deep end releasing the retail list. I don't actually think so, because at the end of the day, I believe, and again, I don't know Steve Wang, you know what I mean? I've had very little contact with him.
My experience with Wang is I used to go into his store with my son a lot.
But I'm sure all the
And
people
buy
that he's
packets.
selling to are going to be stores, newsagents, hobby shops, card stores, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Why would there be any, there wouldn't actually be any surprises. I don't know, there might be a couple of long-time collectors that Steve looks after, which is fine.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that's his prerogative to sell who he wants to sell to.
Yeah.
He's supplying to probably all the shops.
Yeah.
And
here's the thing, with regards to the deep end thing, I think the intention was pure. The intention on Select side of things was to try,
to be transparent.
Yeah, to be transparent and mitigate people saying the shops aren't getting. So they thought they were coming out there and effectively saying, hey, everyone, if you're on the ground in these locations, you should be able to go and buy stock from these retailers. But in fairness, and I said to AJ last night, unfortunately,
No, Martin, you can't.
unfortunately for us, but we're happy to weather the burden.
Yeah.
We became the absolute punching bag of the AFL
That's
trading
fine.
card hobby for the last 48 hours, and we're comfortable with that.
Yeah. And again, Dylan, I'm not sure if you've caught the whole show, but there's plenty of stock that's already hidden retail. Cherry, EJs, we've done K-shares.
That's just the online, because technically it's not for sale over the counter until Monday the 10th.
So I'm sure a lot of all the places that were listed are going to have limited supply because it's going to sell out bloody quick. We've been getting heaps of calls and emails.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of stock going at retail. No one, to my understanding, is selling it over the counter at an inflated price yet, which is a good segue. So let's just move on from this a little bit.
Yeah.
Obviously, as soon as we finished the second release yesterday, you and I were sitting here and you were oiling the bots and you were giving them a bit of water and grease, and you're like, let's have a look on eBay.
Yeah.
And sure enough, about 10 or 15 minutes after the release, they started to appear.
They did.
300, 400, 500, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then, but anything can go up on eBay at whatever price you want it to go at.
Yeah.
But then it happened. The first one was sold at $299. So, bang!
Yeah, it came straight out the gates hot.
Yep. And so there were plenty of people then, and I'm looking at sort of sold listings now, if I can get them up on my other window.
Palmsy, we don't even know if there is actually case cards or not. We'll let you know, though, once we know.
Yeah,
We have no idea.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I hadn't even thought about it, to be
I know
honest.
Gribbler. I know. I thought it was a mini cast too, but you know what Jenks is like. But I'm looking now: $299, $295, $285, $275, $309 best offer, $350, $299. So there are already a handful of boxes that are selling on eBay right now, And then, I've seen on many threads already, I know some groups have actually stopped the flipping of boxes today.
Yeah.
Flipping is a bad word. Because look, again, if you can buy some boxes, okay, and someone is willing to buy that off you, and that makes your investment in the community and your hobby and your cards cheaper, good luck to you.
Yeah.
Anyone can sell anything they want. You've got to have a buyer that's willing to pay the money.
Can I tell you, I much prefer to see boxes being sold early at a premium than boxes being held long term, and collectors such as ourselves sitting there wondering if certain cards are ever going to come out, like last year's Prestige. Like, it's a very frustrating.
Yeah, like that. We spoke to you yesterday that.
That's right. That could have the 2 missing out ones I need. But again.
We want to see. We want to see cards open.
Opinions are very strong both ways in terms of the resale of boxes.
Yep.
I come from the music industry. It has huge issues with ticket scalping of live events. I've given evidence on a number of occasions at parliamentary inquiries with respect to the resale of concert tickets and everything.
Yep.
It's not mutually exclusive to any category whatsoever, whether it's trading cards or concert tickets or sneakers. It's a fact of life we have to deal with, but ultimately it's all driven by demand.
Yep.
If no one wants the end product, well, how's someone supposed to sell it to them if no one's going to buy it? This resale of cards, whether sealed or as singles, only exists if the demand continues to exist.
Yeah, and Paul's made a good comment there around Laugh when Brilliance went for $300. And I think we actually did it. We were live on air when we were saying this is a $500 box.
Yeah.
And I think we proceeded to jump on eBay after the show, and we couldn't buy any for $300, which was very annoying.
Yeah.
But again, look, everyone's got to stop saying that it's not. If someone is going and buying 2 boxes and then selling it to whether it's another customer or a breaker or whatever, so what? Like, it doesn't ruin your world.
No one's making anyone buy anything.
Yep.
No, it's all voluntary.
Yep.
No one buys a premium price box because they're forced to. No one buys into a break because they're forced to.
Yep.
No one goes into a raffle because they're forced to. No one trades a card with another person because they are forced to. We are in the land of plenty. There are breakers everywhere. There's resellers everywhere. There's retailers everywhere. There's flippers everywhere. There's collectors everywhere. Everyone's everywhere. We have lots of choices.
Yep.
You make that decision. Speak with your wallet, speak with your money, speak with your mouth, your fingers, whatever it is.
Look, as people know, not only on here, but also through our breaks and victories, whatever, we do everything we can to promote other people in the business.
Absolutely.
Like, whether you're going to buy a break at Fast Breaks or Cherry or Breaks of Russ or BAM or Box Break TV or whoever it is, whether it's $28, $40, whatever, if you enjoy that break and they've got a product that you want to get,
you pass a personal judgment.
You've got to choose.
Do you think the value is there? That's one aspect. Do you think the entertainment's there? Is it secure? Are you going to get your cards? Are you going to get them quickly? Are they going to come packed well? Do you like the people you're doing it with? Do you want to contribute to what they're doing? Yeah. That's up to you as an individual to decide. It's absolutely a personal choice, and no one can tell you what to do or should make you feel guilty ever about anything.
Yep.
We go in, us personally, we're full-on degenerates when it comes to breaks.
We've bought in basically everything.
Yeah, but we're conscious. We're going to be sitting there doing breaks on live streams for like 12 to 14 hours on that opening day. We have no chance to open any cards for ourselves. We're going in every other break possible. And hopefully people during our breaks will be telling us what we're hitting in other people's breaks.
And Adam, again, look, we could do a whole episode on this. Everyone is a flipper in some fashion.
In some way, shape, or
because
form.
If they're not, come and give me Dusties for packet price.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Come and tell me a Dusty for $3.99.
Yeah.
No, I mean $3.
And that's the thing. And again, that's the notion of, well, they should just produce more cards and stuff. Well, all that does is devalue everything. We look at the junk wax era. People complain there's too many of something.
Very cute, Blake. You're right. Dale is very cute, which helps.
Yes, that does.
That's why we don't have a face cam on breaks, because we're married. We don't need that love. Dale's a single man. Anyway, look, I know a few people have trolled us about saying that this is a mini cast. Let's just have a quick little crystal ball, because we realize it is Sunday night. People have got school and work and stuff like that. Where do you think these boxes land, and what do you think break prices are going to be in 2 weeks' time?
Yeah, so boxes, Okay, the way I look at it is that current early benchmarking is in the 275 to 350 region.
Mhm.
Agree with that? Is that fair to say based on
I know what
the
we've
analysis? Based on the analysis at the moment.
Yeah.
So that's where the box price is at the moment. Well, boxes get purchased, they then disappear, they get opened up or whatever it is that people do with them.
Yep.
So for every one box that gets purchased, that's one less that's available. That generally leads to pressure, and the pressure pushes up. So the prices of boxes are obviously going to go up. I don't think they go from 300 down to 200. I think if they go anywhere, they go 300 up to 400, maybe even push above 400.
So,
I think where do they settle long term?
Yeah, where do you think that's
Well,
settled?
I think Prestige 2020 settled a few months after release around the 400 to 500 range. Is that right? 400.
I reckon I was buying cases at. Yeah, I remember I sort of tapped out around 3,600, $4,000, which is like 325,
There you go.
350.
So
But there's still loose
yeah.
boxes.
Already this is rolling higher than that. I think it
Yeah.
probably settles in the 350 to 400 range.
Yeah.
Hard to really say. How does that then impact brakes? Well, seems like there's a lot of mathematicians and actuaries about at the moment. So people can probably do the maths and realize all of a sudden, well, wow, the brakes that everyone's listing at the moment that may have perceived to be high in price to some
Yeah.
sort of extent,
Well,
a reflective of
and
the market.
it's not just cheap or expensive now, but more to the point, I guess what I was getting to is that, once they get to $400 a box, if you do a 2-box brake, that's $800 plus $100 in shipping, that's $900. You split that 18 ways and then allow them to keep the lights on or buy some equipment.
Yeah.
Suddenly, very quickly, you're looking at a $50.
Well, that's right. A 2-box brake becomes the price of a 3-box brake very, very quickly.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And that's, again, all of a sudden, when all the people who have bought into pre-release brakes, with every breaker pending that they happen, have put themselves into a really strong position early on.
You're right, Ash, and that
Yeah.
means those boxes we bought last night for $200 and something. That's a good return. Great return. All right, look, thank you. It's obviously been a passionate discussion, obviously, from us and also you guys. You guys have been fantastic, and this is why we do this show, for everything that you guys want to talk about and contribute. And I hope I've got to everyone. You guys can always message me privately or Jenks. Jenks, thank you. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
But just to recap quickly on what I said at the top of the show, let's all just be kind to each other. It's an exciting time. This is a celebration. We are seriously
Enjoy it.
Yeah, we're 7 days away from chasing dusty greens again.
But we're literally 7 days away from that feeling of opening and then trading and photos, and it's all happening.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we're here for.
This is the fun bit.
That's what we're here for. Let's not get caught up in all the rubbish beforehand. Let's focus on what's coming up and how awesome it's going to be.
So guys, thank you very much. As I said, we do this for you, but let's be kind to everyone. If you're a bit grumpy or whatever, go for a walk away from your computer. Don't just spray off people, but be kind. Hope you get your cards. Hope you can help other people get their cards. And whether you look to buy boxes, flip boxes, go in brakes, whatever,
That's your prerogative. Enjoy it.
enjoy it and
Enjoy
have
it.
fun.
See you guys.
See you guys. See you next